IBC, Dale Gateful 33 back to make another video. I made a recent spins video earlier and said I might come back and do a show and tell video. I've changed my mind and I'm coming back to do a thread response video. So this is response to the master of thread starters, Richard McCook. He's been doing some top 60s, 70s, 80s albums, and yesterday he posted his top 80s. He did 40. Jeff Calico Silver's done a response under the 30. I really struggle with these sorts of videos. You know, your top 100 artists, your top 100 albums. I'm comfortable with a top 10. Once you get beyond that, it starts to kind of expand into subjectivity, and you know, I kind of, you know, couldn't tell you what my 53rd favourite artist was compared to my 76th favourite artist. It all gets a little bit, as I say, unclear as the further you go out. So and I have actually I've tried to do a top 100 artist ranking list. I managed to do it, and I recorded the first video and it's in sort of in the can, as you say, but I'm not wedded to it, and I'm not behind it, so I've kind of left it there. It may come back another time. Anyway, on with this. I've managed to do 20, so I can do 20 great albums in my view from the 80s. They're not ranked in order because I couldn't manage that. They are in alphabetical order, not in order of preference. Anyway, let's get on with it. So first at B, Blue Nile, and it's quite close between the first two Blue Nile albums, but I've gone for Hats by Blue Nile. Fantastic. I like my melancholy. I like my, you know, indie melancholy, and this is, you know, fantastic vocals and beautiful mood created within this album. So yeah, Blue Nile, Hats. Next is probably certainly in the top 3 of my all-time albums, or top 5, top 10, top 100. Says Dale contradicting himself. Kate Bush, The Dreaming. But this is, you know, from as far as Kate Bush concerns, this and Hounds of Love run each other close. But Richard's got a rule: only one album per artist. So if I had to pick one, Kate Bush, The Dreaming is in the top 20. That's just a fantastic album. I've spoken about it in lots of videos. This is an album that, so this is the only album I've got by The Church. I've heard about The Church. Different VC members have praised The Church over the years, and I've wanted to explore them, and I've got a couple of Church albums on my want list, but this is the only one I've managed to find in the wild. And I've shown this on a recent finds video, one of my first videos. But yeah, this is a really great album. So yeah, it sort of creeps into that top 20 of 80s albums. So The Church heyday, sort of indie shoegaze, neo-psych, if that is. Probably done that a disservice. Leonard Cohen, I'm Your Man. I love this album. It's very 80s. Leonard Cohen, very different to certainly his early stuff. It's not the folky stuff. It's a bit more produced. I think that, you know, lots of great songs on here, and as I say, I find it quite amusing as well, which for Leonard Cohen is not usual, but I think, yeah, there's a lot of really great songs on here. So Leonard Cohen, I'm Your Man is one of my top 80s albums. This, I just double checked actually, this was the 80s. So yeah, another hard choice. I've gone with The Cure, 17 Seconds. Sort of this marginally wins over Faith, I think, as one of The Cure's best 80s albums. So yeah, really great album. Play for Today, and it's sort of obviously got the seminal A Forest on it. So yeah, really great. Again, dark Cure album. This is something that's really good for listening to on headphones when you're walking to the station in the dark in the winter. another bit of kind of atmospheric darkness. Dead Can Dance. I love Dead Can Dance. I think Into the Labyrinth is my favourite of theirs, but that's from the 90s. I've gone for Within the Realm of a Dying Sun, but I think, you know, most of them 80s material, it's all strong. So, you know, it's a toss up between this and a couple of other Dead Can Dance albums, to be honest, but I've gone for this one. Yeah, love both, you know, the male and female vocals and the kind of really kind of worldly, otherworldly feel of Dead Can Dance albums. So that's that. Next, sticking with the D's, Depeche Mode, Music for the Masses. This is in my top 3 Depeche Mode albums. Don't know where it comes. Probably Violator's probably my favourite, but it's not far behind. Yeah, this is kind of like a bit of a transition album from the sort of earlier pop sound to the much darker later sound. I think this is, say, a bit of a transition, slightly more in the pop than in the darker stuff, but on its way there. So great. Music for the Masses is you know, a great album. Never Let Me Down Again, and Strange Love, things like that. Good songs. Album I've shown several times before, Dexys Midnight Runners. I think Richard showed Tour. That's a great album as well. They're both very close, and this just won out again, Searching for the Young Soul Rebel. Just a brilliant album, and I love the Teams That Meet in Cafs instrumental, but yeah, it's got and you know, They're My Dear, yeah, 7 Days Too Long. It's just a good soulful album, soulful indie, great album by Dexys. This used to be in all my videos. I've put it away for a while, but it's back again. So, you know, close to, if not my favourite Bob Dylan album, 1989's Oh Mercy, a real return to form. Just a fantastic album, full of very dark, contemplative songs, and sort of Dylan's starting to get that later gravelly voice, bluesy voice that I do actually like. So yeah, this is a great album throughout. Oh Mercy, Bob Dylan. Back into the shoegazy, indie side of life, indie pop, I suppose. Go-Betweens, got several of their albums. This is my favourite, 16 Lovers Lane. This is an original on Beggar's Banquet, isn't it? Yeah, on Beggar's Banquet. Yeah, really good album. Some really, really strong songs. Just really good sort of pop songs with an indie leaning. Yeah, really like the Go-Betweens. So I think, you know, so far I've showed The Church, Dead Can Dance, and the Go-Betweens, which all 3 of them are kind of Australian, I believe, artists that have kind of found or blossomed their careers in the UK. So there's a link there. Okay, next. So I was gonna show either a Jam or a Style Council album, one or the other, and it was quite a hard fought battle, and Sound Effects just won out. Yeah, so this is just a very good, well, great Jam album, and yeah, really strong. I probably just prefer All Mod Cons over this, but that was obviously from the 70s, so I couldn't include it. But Sound Effects is a really strong album, and as I say, it just wins out over the Style Council. Another artist from the 80s that I do like, complete change of gear, Marillion, and again, this is probably my favourite. Any one of their first sort of 4 albums could have featured, really, but I've gone for this one. This is probably the darkest of the Fish era albums. So yeah, it's it's got some very dark sort of subject matter and dark sort of feel to it. Clutching at straws, sort of the name maybe suggests that. So Marillion is in the top 20. Another surprise to me. I surprised myself with my own choices. I don't know how you can do that. So Prefab Sprout, I thought I would have chosen Steve McQueen, but I've gone with this. I just found this. This is where I think I entered with Prefab Sprout. I bought this when it came out, and so before I'd heard Steve McQueen album, and I just think this is just, I mean, it's a pretty horrible 80s cover, but yeah, it's just a fun album. I think Prefab Sprout have done lots of very, very strong albums, but I say this just tips it over Steve McQueen for me. And it's quite, sorry, it's from Langley Park to Memphis, is the name of the album. Again, another surprise. The Smiths, yeah, this. So I thought I would put The Queen Is Dead in all day long, but I've bought this. This is an original I bought maybe 2 years ago, and it hasn't really got hits on it, but I just find it's a really good album. So maybe just to be different, but yeah, this and Queen Is Dead are kind of really closely matched, but I've decided to go with Strange Ways Here We Come by the Smiths for my choice. Next, an album that I've come to only in the last 2 or 3 years, or a band that I've only become aware of in the last 2 or 3 years, The Sound, and this album, well, for the first 3 albums really, but this album, From the Lion's Mouth, is the only one I've got on vinyl. I've got a CD box of the other 3, and which is brilliant. But this is just a great album. Very dark, again, dark, alternative indie music. I think the lead singer had a troubled life and took his own life at some point. But yeah, this is just great music. Again, atmospheric and really engaging. So The Sound. I think there's a theme actually. All of them are like this. I need to get some therapy, perhaps. Talk. Well, music is my therapy, should we say? Talk. And this, I've come around to only recently thinking this is my favourite Talk album. I probably would have gone for one of the final 2 albums, sort of, if you'd asked me a few years ago. But The Colour of Spring, I think, is a transition between the poppier side of Talk and the much sort of darker, atmospheric side of Talk. And so I think this provides a good mix, and I really enjoy this album. So yeah, Talk and The Colour of Spring. Talking Heads, Remain in Light, a very seminal and famous album. I think it's got sort of a poppier A-side and a very interesting, it's almost like a sort of Bowie's Berlin type, in my view, Bowie's Berlin type, where the kind of the B-sides of some of those albums with where Eno got going were really kind of different and interesting. And I think the same about this. You know, just a great album, but you know, an album to sit down and listen to. Talking Heads, not an album necessarily of just sort of pop hits, if that makes sense. But Talking Heads, Remain in Light, great album. We've got 3 left. So I love Richard Thompson. I don't love Richard Thompson. I love Richard Thompson's music. And Richard and Linda Thompson, and this is the final Richard and Linda Thompson album, Shoot Out the Lights, and I think it bookends the Richard and Linda Thompson sort of time. Started with I Want to See the Bright Lights, And so I think this, the title of this is, I think, deliberate, as to shoot out the lights. At this point, their marriage had broken down, or was breaking down. Hence, I think this album cover has got Richard Thompson here, but only a picture of Linda Thompson, because I don't think they would have been in the same room together at the point in time this album was finished. Yeah, but I think, like all great art, out of tragedy comes great art, or not all, a lot of great art. Out of tragedy comes great art, and I think maybe the situation they were in has led to a great album being produced. Unfortunate, obviously, the relationship situation, but I think now they are not, if you like, in a much better place, and they collaborate on artistically. So hopefully the years have sorted that out, although it's nothing to do with me. It's their private affair, not mine. And there's going to be a Richard and Linda Thompson career box coming out soon on CD, which I have pre-ordered. So pre-orders don't count in my music diet that I'm about to go on. So luckily I've got about 30 things pre-ordered before I decide to go on the diet. That's not cheating, obviously. Good. Yeah, so Richard and Linda Thompson. Two more. Another difficult choice, Tom Waits. So I have gone with Rain Dogs. I could have gone with Swordfish Trombones. I probably could have gone with a couple of others. I've just gone with this because why not? So yeah, Rain Dogs, again, Tom Waits, another unique artist who does some fantastic things that blow my mind. So this, starts off with Singapore and just continues from there. Singapore, fantastic sort of song, and about someone in Singapore on shore leave or whatever it is. But yeah, fantastic, dark, moody, interesting, mad. Tom Waits. Didn't do that very well, sorry. And finally, XTC, again another difficult choice. I know Richard showed Black Sea and could have shown English Settlement, he said. I agree, he could have shown either of those as well. So, but I've gone with Skylarking. I just think it's a fantastic pop record, summer pop record, with some great songs. I know it was a troubled album to make, with Todd Rundgren producing and Andy Partridge and Todd Rundgren not getting on. But again, out of adversity comes a great album. So that's me. I'll stop there. It's already taken 18 minutes of rambling. So good. I've managed to do a top something video at last. So thanks, Richard, for the inspiration. Cheers. Bye.